Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, Halloween Ends didn't do very good in its second weekend. It's kind of shocking, actually. It dropped 80%. In its first weekend, it did around 40 million. Second weekend, 8 million. So it's an 80% drop. That's fairly shocking. I was kind of surprised at that. Um, it didn't do a lot of business during the week. It did okay. Um, but yeah, got to Friday, it went up 144%, but still 87.8 down on the first weekend. It made 2.4 million on the Friday. And on the Saturday, it made 3.4 million, which is up 37.5%, but still down 73.8%. And then on Sunday, it made 2.1 million, which is down 38.1%. And down 68.2% from last week. So that's very disappointing. So yeah, it made right on 8 million. Um, yeah, I'm really surprised, but I don't know if it'll pick up in the last weekend because I guess everyone who wanted to see it who couldn't wait would have seen it the first weekend, and everyone else who wants to see it on Halloween is going to see it next weekend. So hopefully next week it will do as well. I don't think it could do better, but it might basically hold up for another week. So it might sort of that little thing that they do where they release it 2 weeks before Halloween to hope that they can actually drag out the first couple of weeks where the most people see it, because some people are going to wait to see it for Halloween, so they won't all go out and see it in the one weekend, so it'll stretch it out a bit. I think that's sort of what they're hoping for and probably about all they're going to get. Um, yeah, I'm kind of surprised that much of a drop. It's got a bad word of mouth. Halloween Kills wasn't the best film. Some people had issues with it for political reasons. Other people had issues with it because it just wasn't great. It was just basically Jamie stuck in a this time crowded hospital with a bunch of crazy people all trying to hunt Michael, and then you just had that sort of end scene with Michael suddenly behaving like he's got supernatural powers and taking out a whole mob of people and killing Jamie's daughter, which I actually didn't think that really happened. I thought she's not going to be dead, she's going to be in the next movie, but she's dead. So this next film, it I think the other problem with it is they just don't seem related. It's 4 years later, so the first two films continued from one night to the net, one night over onto the same night. It just kept going, and you did feel like it was related and it mattered. This film, it feels like, oh, it's 4 years later. You saw how that one ended. You don't actually need to see this. There doesn't seem to be a direct continuation. It seems to be a different film all about a possible copycat, and it's supposed to be about like a town that sort of turns on Jamie. So it's just a different film. It's very separate from the other film. It doesn't really feel like a continuation. So I think that sort of hurt it. And being released on Peacock, although I've heard conflicting reports that this Halloween Kills was also shown day and date with I can't remember what I'm saying. I'm so tired. But yeah, I'd heard that Halloween Kills was shown day and date with Peacock as well. But then other people saying that it hasn't, and that's why it did better than this film. It still didn't do as good as the first one. But then people saying, no, it did come out day and date just like the last one. I'm like, well, I would have thought they would have had a similar number, because this one did do less than the last one, opening weekend, and they both did less than the first one. So yeah, I don't know what's happening. I'm too tired to think anyway. I'm just disappointed the film did that bad, because I think overall the box office is going to be less than the next one, and I mean the last one. And the next one, I'm just thinking, what are they going to do for the next one? Because they're not going to have Jamie Lee back. She said she's not going to do it again, and she probably won't do it for a long time. And if she does, she'll probably just do like a secretary style cameo like her mother did in H2O. So I think that's probably all we're going to get from her in the future, and that's probably going to be a very long way away at the most if we're lucky. But I don't quite know where they're going to go with it for the next film and how they're going to pull it off, and what sort of goodwill there is going to be there for it. Because I mean, I got really excited about the first film, and I was kind of disappointed. It was like a short Halloween film, and then it was a separate film about Laurie Strode and her sort of survivor feminist sort of take on the whole Michael as human, and the idea that he waited all this time when she wasn't related to him, and it just didn't make a lot of sense. It was very disappointing. The second film, like I said, it very much just stuck in the hospital. It was all about like the mob violence and that. It didn't really feel like a horror film in that sense. And now this film it's 4 years later, it seems totally unrelated. It seems to be about a copycat killer. And yeah, it's disappointing, but it's not really shocking because from the things I'd heard. But yeah, I'm going to go because I'm so tired I could fall asleep where I'm sitting right here. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the third weekend goes, because I don't think the third weekend of Halloween Kills was as big as I thought it was going to be because of the actual Halloween weekend. But we'll see.